Welcome back to The Wire. I told you we'd have a very special guest, and here he is in the flesh, Midland High Zone, Coach Craig Yenzer. Coach, glad you made it.
Great to be here.
How you doing?
Good.
Doing good?
Probably ate too much for Christmas, but
Yeah?
doing good.
Oh, that makes two of us. Well, let's get it started. It's called Shot Clock, and you know the drill. It's 3 questions, usually 24 seconds, but we're going to get a little bit more time now because he's in the house. Daryl, let's get it started.
All right, gentlemen, let's kick off the first shot clock of 2015 talking about all college football. With the first question being, what was your favorite non-playoff bowl?
Daryl, you know, it may not have been much of a contest, and Coach, I'll tell you what, TCU in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, what they were able to do to Ole Miss after getting snubbed in that playoff selection, coming in there in the SEC region, just straight taking care of business. Trayvon Boykin took it to heart. He got snubbed too. He at least should have been a Heisman contender over there in New York. Didn't get it. The defense just undeniable. It's safe to say, as a whole, the Big 12, not much success this Holiday Bowl season, but I'll tell you what, TCU was the shining star, just dominating an SEC powerhouse that for a good while this season were in the top 5, and that had to be my favorite.
Well, I can agree with that, and that was a close second for me. You know, I love the Holiday Bowl. When my son Tyler was playing at Texas Tech, that was the Sonny Cumbie beating University of California, huge game. There's a pretty good quarterback on the other side, a guy by the name of Rogers that played.
Oh, yeah.
And so I like that bowl. It's a fun place to be. San Diego's a great city. And watching it this year, I love the game, Nebraska, USC. I really thought Nebraska had a chance to come back and beat them at the end. I thought USC played really well. Got a couple of scores ahead, but Nebraska kept playing hard, playing good, and I was real excited. It was an exciting game at the end, and of course I was pulling for Nebraska, especially since they had an interim coach and had a lot of things against them. But it was an exciting game and a great game. It
was really a showcase, if you will. I fell in love with the guy Leonard Williams, the defensive tackle from USC, with a performance like that, just in the backfield, giving Armstrong everything he's got, disrupting every play. It's safe to say, in my eyes, top 5, top 10 pick this coming May.
You know, and I thought that's true, and you know, like I said, it made me reminisce on the game that Texas Tech played years ago. So I just love the game.
Maybe next year they'll be in a bowl game, huh?
Hope so. Hope so.
Okay, next question. What were your thoughts on the inaugural semifinal playoff games?
All right, Coach, I'll take Florida State and Oregon, and this one not so much a contest compared to the one you're going to talk about, but you know what? It was the end of an era for Jameis Winston and his reign in Florida State. We're so used to seeing the comebacks he's put on throughout the past 2 years. 28 straight games won. He had never lost a college football game. It looked like Samson had lost all of his strength. I mean, my goodness. I was in the back of my chair sitting, hey, they can come back and take this. They were down the whole game, and that third quarter was the end of them. The play that I can remember the most, I'll remember years later on down the road, Jameis Winston with that fumble, trying to get it going in the pocket, pressure, sees no one open.
Right.
It goes back. That's when I knew the game was over. Oregon, though, wow, a team to be reckoned with. Labeled a soft, no more. I mean, beating the national champs from last year and going to be in the big show.
You know, you like Mariota. I mean, I think the world of him. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. So honestly, I was rooting for Oregon in that case.
New blood.
But, you know, boy, Florida State's had a great run.
Yeah, they have.
So all good things come to an end.
True that.
You know, my take, just the Ohio State, Alabama game. First of all, 2 great coaches. It was a lot of fun to watch. You know, 42-35, great game. You know, I was a little surprised as the game going through the game. You know, I thought Alabama, which surprised me, had some problems defensively. You know, they didn't. They had a hard time stopping the quarterback from Ohio State.
Stringer.
Yeah, great. He had a great game. He was accurate. I thought. You know, the coaching from Ohio State, of course. How can you get any better than Urban Meyer? But I thought they did a great job on offense. Thought they did a great job on defense. It was really fun to watch the strategy of the game for me. And so in that particular game, One thing I was surprised about was how aggressive the play calling was for Alabama toward the end. They took a couple of shots. They took a couple of shots. Made a couple of bad passes, had a couple of turnovers at the end, and so that was a little surprising to me. But again, I thought Urban Meyer and his staff and players played great. It was great to watch a great game.
A surprising game. The only surprising thing, the outcome. Everyone expected it was going to be Florida State and Alabama.
Here we are.
Not so much, huh?
That's right. And and again, I guess that's what makes this game fun. I've been coaching football and watching football for years and years, and there's always surprises. It's a fun deal.
That's why we play the game, huh?
That's right.
And lastly, now that the semifinals are over and done with, did the committee get the selections right?
Daryl, this isn't a fair question of mine, but we're going to answer it anyways because it's so easy to look back after all the dust has settled and say this should have happened, this shouldn't have happened. I do think they got it right, though, at the end of the day. The 4 teams that were in there all deserved to be there, and at the same time, the team that didn't deserve to be there in terms of just how they got beaten so badly in Florida State, you weren't going to deny them considering they were the defending champions and they had won all season being undefeated. It just wouldn't have been right if we can go back in time and put TCU in there in Florida State. Yeah, obviously we would do that, but at the same time, there's only 4 spots. Someone's going to get left out in the cold.
Well, this is fun time for me because I'm always the guy getting second guess when I'm calling plays on Friday night.
Yeah.
So it is good to have hindsight and look at it. I'll disagree a little bit. I think that TCU, this game's about playing defense first of all, and that's funny because I'm an offensive guy. I mean, I love coaching offense, love playing, calling plays, but from that perspective. Defense wins championships, and the successful teams that I've had and the successful college football teams I've seen, obviously TCU and Gary Patterson, the job he and his staff do, it was such a dominating performance. I understand the Florida State thing, and they were undefeated, and do you put them? My take, even though Ohio State beat Alabama, I thought they deserved. I thought TCU deserved to be in there
over Ohio State.
Again, in hindsight, 2020, and looking back, it was easy. It's easy now to say, well, Ohio State deserved to be there, but at that time, I'm not sure that TCU being 3rd and Ohio State being 5th or 6th and them getting jumped and TCU going to 6th, man, I'm just not sure that was a fair deal.
Politics as usual. Arbrow said that the committee needed to be more regionalized. Hopefully it might be, but at the same time, the Big 12, you got to get 2 more teams there, or you got to get the go-ahead and have a playoff or a Big 12 championship, with the 10 teams that are left. Otherwise, it might be the same thing as next year.
One thing that went through my mind, and I hope I'm wrong, but, I thought the fan bases and who's going to follow, I thought maybe that weighed in a little bit because, Ohio State's going to have a lot better following in terms of fans to bowl games than maybe a TCU or even a Baylor.
They're just new successful programs.
I'm just hoping politics didn't play a big role in that too because, Ohio State's kind of a more sentimental pick for the big boys.
Kind of like Notre Dame too.
Exactly.
Cool.
Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Coach. Let's get together and do it all over again next week.
Daryl, thank you, and Coach Yenzer, thank you again for being on the show. You're welcome here anytime. It was a blast.
Anytime.
Yes, sir. All right, now we're going to take a quick break, but before we do, here's some scoreboards.